What if Superman, the most iconic superhero ever, is about to be undone not by kryptonite, but by a fandom so ferocious they'd rather wage war over casting choices and his costume than focus on the epic story that could make or break the DC universe before the movie even drops? Now picture this. You're James Gunn, the guy who turned a talking raccoon and a tree into Guardians of the Galaxy legends. You're riding high, and Warner Brothers hands you the keys to reboot the entire DC universe, starting with Superman, the granddaddy of all superheroes. Sounds like a dream gig, right? Nope. You're walking into a straight-up war zone where every single decision, casting, costume, tone, gets shredded by the most intense, vocal, and downright passionate fan base in comic book history. The second Gunn announced his Superman movie in December 2022, the internet lost its collective mind. I'm not talking about the fun kind of chaos with fans sharing memes or hyping up trailers. I mean full-on meltdowns that make you question if people are arguing about a movie or a global conspiracy. Grown adults are writing novels about how Superman's costume is some kind of attack on classic masculinity. I'm not kidding. Some dissecting the costume like it's a political manifesto, but to some fans, it's a hill to die on. This early drama set the stage for what's become a fandom civil war. On one side, you've got fans excited for a fresh take on Superman, inspired by the hopeful, heartfelt all-star Superman comic. On the other, you've got diehards, especially Zack Snyder fans, who see Gunn's lighter tone as a betrayal of the darker, mythic DC extended universe. It's like the internet's arguing over two different Supermans, and nobody's backing down. But if fans were willing to go to war over a pair of trunks, you can only imagine the explosion when the man wearing the suit was replaced. The first major explosion hit when Warner Brothers announced David Corenswet would replace Henry Cavill as Clark Kent Superman. Look, Cavill was a fan favorite. Those chiseled abs, that brooding intensity in Man of Steel, he was Superman for a generation. When he exited the role after 2022's Black Adam cameo, fans were gutted. They're convinced it was a calculated move to erase Zack Snyder's darker, grounded DCEU vision from existence. Then there's the Corenswet hate. While some fans praise his charisma and Hollywood TV show vibes, others were brutal. Some called him hideously ugly. It's not just looks. Others claim Corenswet's soft demeanor can't match Cavill's intensity, citing test screening leaks that describe his Clark as too nerdy. No hard evidence backs these leaks, but they've fueled a narrative that Corenswet's doomed to flop. It's like fans have already written the movie's obituary, and we're still a few days from release. This clash of actors perfectly embodies the deeper battle raging on. The Clone Wars. The Tone Wars. Some fans are straight up terrified that Gunn's turning Superman into what they call a touchy-feely millennial who'd rather give TED Talks about saving the planet than punch out bad guys like Lex Luthor. They're pointing to Gunn's work on Peacemaker, a hilarious but raunchy HBO Max show, as proof he's gonna stuff Superman with crass jokes and awkward humor that'll ruin the character's iconic gravitas. I've binged Peacemaker, and yeah, it's a riot with its R-rated gags and John Cena dancing in tighty-whities, but it's for adults, not families rocking Superman capes at the theater. The idea that Gunn can't dial it back for a PG-13 blockbuster is absurd. It's like saying a chef who grills spicy tacos can't bake a kid-friendly cake. The tone debate cuts deeper than just humor. Snyder fans want a mythic, almost biblical Superman, like in Man of Steel, where he's a god among men wrestling with his destiny. Gunn's fans argue his all-star Superman-inspired take, hopeful, kind, and human, stays true to the character's roots in Action Comics. Both are valid, but fans act like it's a blood feud. This fear of a tonal misstep has spiraled into anxiety about the film's very structure. When Gunn revealed Superman would feature Hawkgirl, Green Lantern Guy Gardner, Mr. Terrific, and Metamorpho, fans flipped out, screaming, "Too many characters!" They're terrified of a Batman v Superman repeat, a bloated mess that tries to launch a universe instead of telling a single, focused story. But here's the kicker. These are often the same fans who roasted DC for not world-building like Marvel. It's a bizarre contradiction, begging for a feast and then yelling at the chef for serving a full plate. This panic is fueled by more unsourced leaks claiming the ensemble overshadows Clark, with one blog alleging that test audiences found Guy Gardner's snark annoying and Hawkgirl's scenes tacked on. Naturally, a film perceived as overstuffed and tonally confused must have a troubled production, and that's exactly where the narrative went next. The budget talk is where things get truly nuts. Officially, Superman's budget is around $225 million, a standard figure for a blockbuster of this scale. Yet, whispers claim it has ballooned to an astronomical $363 million. That massive gap has fans accusing Warner Brothers of lowballing the number to appear financially stable after a string of DC flops. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy, but the lack of transparency is fueling a fire of distrust. What's wilder is how this has been spun into a doomsday prophecy, with predictions that a $363 million budget means Superman needs to gross $1 billion just to break even, setting it up for inevitable failure. If you're supposedly spending that much money, the visuals better be flawless, right? Well, that brings us to the CGI mess that broke the internet. Remember that teaser trailer moment where Superman's face looked off as he soared through Metropolis? Most rational folks would think, the CGI isn't polished yet. They'll fix it. But on the internet, it was Armageddon. Snyder fans were convinced this was a secret test run for AI-generated visuals, claiming Warner Brothers was cheaping out on VFX artists. James Gunn hopped on Threads to shut it down, explaining it was just unfinished render. Classic damage control, but it backfired spectacularly. To fans already primed for a fight, denying a rumor just makes you look guiltier. It's peak paranoia, but it shows just how little trust the fanbase has left. This deep mistrust has sparked some wild, in-your-face backlash. In June 2025, moderators on the Reddit deleted a post that urged fans to review bomb Superman on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. The post was a complete flop. No upvotes, no traction, just crickets. But when IGN and Newsweek reported on it, it became a lightning rod. James Gunn couldn't resist a jab, blaming it on 8 people. Savage, maybe, but it poured gasoline on the fire. Fans felt Gunn was trivializing their passion. Now, after all that negativity, here's the real plot twist in this whole saga. All this chaos, the AI conspiracies, the budget blow-ups, the woke tantrums, is actually fueling a hype train for Superman like nothing we've ever seen. Every Reddit tirade over Henry Cavill getting the boot keeps it plastered across headlines. The trailers? They're pulling millions of views, and yeah, a chunk of that's from folks hate-watching just to pick it apart. James Gunn's probably kicking back, sipping coffee, and grinning as this chaos unfolds like a marketing jackpot he didn't even pay for. His biggest haters? They're unintentionally hyping the film harder than any Super Bowl ad could. And the absolute wildest part? They're all losing it over a movie that for most of the world is still just a bunch of rumors and vibes in our heads. The fan frenzy has gotten so wild it's practically living in an exaggerated alternate dimension. Some folks are so dead set that Superman's gonna bomb, they're already cooking up plans for the sequel. They're out there fan-casting David Cornsweet's replacement. Names like Matt Bomer or Zac Efron are getting tossed around, and hand-picking directors like Christopher Nolan to rescue the DCU once Gunn inevitably gets the boot. It's like they're scripting a whole new cinematic universe in the comment sections before the first trailers even had time to cool off. Sure, we've seen fans flex their muscle before with the hashtag #ReleaseTheSnyderCut campaign, but this is next level. It's like they're fighting a war against a movie they haven't even watched, trying to fix a flop they've already decided is coming. Look, I get it. Superman's personal. He's hope, strength, the guy who makes you believe in better days. To some, he's the farm boy from Smallville. To others, he's a god saving Metropolis. When you love a character that much, every change, new actor, new tone, new suit, feels like a gut punch. After the DCEU's ups and downs, we're all starving for a killer Superman movie. But man, we've built sky-high expectations. Casting calls are betrayals. Costume tweaks are war crimes. Plot rumors are the end of DC. We're treating every decision like a referendum on Superman's 80-year legacy. Maybe, just maybe, we could chill and watch the movie before calling it a dumpster fire. Revolutionary idea, I know. Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you're loving this deep dive, hit that like and subscribe button.